Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and another album review. And the review is of Marilyn Manson's One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. Before I get to this, however, a reminder the fundraiser continues. For those of you new to my channel or unaware, I am a disabled individual and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter as they view it as a quote luxury item, end quote, despite the fact that I'm unable to walk whatsoever, in addition to being unable to use any other type of a power chair or a standard wheelchair for that matter, as I only have limited dexterity of one hand. In addition to that, I do not have a backup scooter or wheelchair at the current time, so if my scooter does malfunction, as it recently did, I will yet again be a fish out of the water, a scenario I want to avoid at all costs. With that stated, below the title of this video and the description, as well as then a separate section below the information pertaining to the video I will be doing today, you can find a spot fund account. It's a fundraising link. Takes a few seconds to contribute. I mean, all contributions are welcome. You can even contribute anonymously, and believe me, even $5 or $10 can make all the difference in the world. It all adds up over time, and it really makes a big difference in my life. As alluded to, I was without power to my scooter actually for roughly 2 weeks when the battery charging mechanism had failed entirely, and I had to rely on family and friends to push me around my own home, severely limiting my independence. And although I'm not 100% independent, I do pride myself on the things that I can do, and I want to continue doing those things. Therefore, it is imperative that I have a working scooter at all times. With that stated, the goal of the fundraiser is both to obtain parts necessary to continue the ongoing refurbishing of my existing scooter, as well as to obtain a brand new scooter to use on a continuous basis and to have the refurbished model as my backup. I realized when I was um, being pushed around and having to rely on people that I need a reliable backup plan, and that seems like the most logical conclusion is having a backup scooter that I know I can use, as well as a primary that I can use almost continuously in the event, and in the event something goes wrong, I can use the backup. So those are the two goals. I don't believe that they're unreasonable. I think they're realistic and, under the circumstances, necessary. So please do what you can at the spot fund link below. Once again, I do want to thank those who have contributed thus far, in addition to those who plan on contributing, as your contributions have and will make a world of difference in my life. Thank you all. I love you all. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and become part of the Media Awareness family. I'd love to have you. Also, like and share, comment below. Let me know your favorite Marilyn Manson song and or album, or both. And let me know your thoughts on the new album if you have heard it. So here we have the new album on CD, and this is One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. And I will be giving my full thoughts after I go through the track listing. But first, I want to show you what this looks like on the inside with the help of one of my friends. So here we have the CD of Marilyn Manson's One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. And we're going to show you the CD itself, standard jewel case, opened up, and you have the CD on one side. Behind the disc we have another picture. on the back we have the track listing. And this comes inside. This is what appears to be a self-portrait of Marilyn Manson, aka Brian Warner, and on the back we have what looks like a newspaper article, but it is the song lyrics, which is really brilliant, and it's really nice to have it in that format, in my opinion. And that is the contents of the new Marilyn Manson CD, and I will be back following this with my review of the tracks themselves. So we're going to go through the track listing track by track at this point, and I'll give you my thoughts on the album as a whole afterwards. Many of you have already seen some of my reaction videos. If you have, you know my thoughts on the singles. However, let us start and go through each track. Now, the first track on the album is one Assassination Under God, and this is a song that was released on the release of the album itself on the same day, and I did a reaction to this. However, I wasn't until recently that I actually got my copy of the CD proper, so I waited on listening and waited on doing a thorough reaction till now. So I have my notes next to this as stating that it has a feeling of self-imposed reflection and exile. And that's something I think I stated in my reaction video as well. It really gives off that isolationism and calling out from the void, if you will. Track 2 is No Funeral Without Applause, and this one has a lyrical vibe, at least in my opinion, of projecting one's pain while feeling empty in order to feel in general. And that's more common than not with most people. We may not realize it, but we oftentimes can really project onto others our own emotional or lack of emotional depth in order to feel something and experience something. And musically, it has a really punk vibe to it, in my opinion at least. And lyrically, it's really deep, in my opinion. The third track on the album is Nod If You Understand, which is another track with a real punk rock vibe to it, musically speaking, very retro. Lyrically, depicting one's perception of reality. And that's the impression I got. An individual perception of reality. Track 4, As Sick as the Secrets Within, is a single, and was actually the first single we got from the album. And for this one, you can see my reaction for this on my channel, But in my notes here on this, I have a rebirth from the ashes, and that's my interpretation really of um, that track. It was really a lot of metaphorical lyrics, but also this renewal or rebirth, as I stated. So you can find my reaction on my channel to that. Track 5 is Sacrilegious, which is a song I reacted to as well. And it has musically a sort of a retro feeling to Manson's early career, to the Antichrist Superstar era, but with a more mature lyrical perspective. Um, and it sort of has a Beautiful People vibe to it instrumentally. Yet, and I think I even said that during my actual reaction to it. Yet at the same time, lyrically, it's got a lot more going on with it, and a lot that I think can be delved into a bit more. Track 6 is Death is Not a Costume. And for this track, I have misconceptions of perception and leaving the past. And I really think that that's pertinent in Brian's life at the current time, as well as many of us in life itself. It's something that we should do more than we actually do, and if we're consciously aware of who we are and the things that we do in everyday life, it's something that we can definitely achieve, in my opinion. Musically, it also has a very retro type of feel to it. I would say some people have said it reminds them of Tourniquet. It reminds them of Tourniquet from Antichrist Superstar. I could see where they get that from, but I don't necessarily think it's as much like Tourniquet as the previous was like The Beautiful People. I feel that this has its own um, defined characteristics that makes it its own track and really makes it a nice track. Also, with that stated, we move on to track 7, which is Meet Me in Purgatory, which is, my notes here say, taking you with me at any cost. And that's the feeling that song gave off. It's like, no matter what, you're coming with me, and no matter where I go or how I end up, you're coming with me. And I really feel that given past few years of Brian's life and what he's been through, that is only a proper stance to take, in my opinion. So from there, we move on to track 8, which is Raise the Red Flag, which is also a single that I did a reaction to. You can find that on my channel. But in my notes here, for the album itself, I have lyrically, it is a volcano of emotion, very raw and speaking out, and it is just unapologetically just really putting things out there and not holding back at all. And then we move on to the final track on this album, which is track 9, which is Sacrifice of the Masses. And my notes for this one are simple yet complex. It's I have listed here a feeling of fading away from oneself, while at the same time um, having things being told to you that are not applicable per se. And that's the impression that I got from that particular piece on this album. Now, the 9 tracks on this album really are well done and produced very well. There is a definite uh, attention to detail in the mix. There's a lot going on in the mix, and uh, yet it's not overloaded. You have basic guitar, bass, and drums, keyboards as well, and of course Manson's vocals. There are some layers to his vocals, and his trademark vocal effects, which he's used from day one. Um, but the album itself really it takes some leaps in terms of the lyrical aspects and the delivery of those lyrics. Um, there's a lot more stripped back, raw nature to this album, while at the same time really giving us a sense of what he has gone through and personally what he feels and being non-apologetic in conveying that to us, the fans, and just conveying it to himself, in all honesty. Um, this album is a brilliant, brilliant work by Manson, and I recommend this highly, especially given the insert that you saw earlier. The contents of this album, the physical copy, are really magnificent and definitely worth having in physical form. So get your hands on this if you can, and it's available, I believe, in vinyl as well as digital download and of course to stream. But if you get the physical copy, you get the self-portrait, you get the lyrics, and it's all housed within a standard jewel case, and it really, really is nice to have in your collection if you are a fan of Marilyn Manson, which I am. As previously stated, I had the privilege of seeing Manson back in 2007, and it was one of the best shows I've ever experienced, and I think that still holds true. Um, so, if you have the chance to see Manson, do not hesitate. And with that stated, get your hands on this album if you do not have it. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you're not comfortable sharing things publicly in that form, you can contact me via the Facebook link in the description, or you can contact me via my email address, which is also in the description. Also in the description, you can find the Amazon Media Awareness wish list, where you can pick and choose items for me to unbox, review, etc. This is Rob with Media Awareness. I've been very privileged and I feel proud to have finally brought you this review of Marilyn Manson's One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. Cannot wait for Chapter 2, and I can't wait to hear more in general from Marilyn Manson. I will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.